don't scare easily. I never have. I'm the kind of person who watches horror movies alone at night. I check under the bed just to prove there's nothing there. I don't believe in ghosts or demons. But the night my sister stopped blinking, something in me broke permanently. It started small. Everything terrible always starts small. My sister had been acting different. Not in a way that would make you panic. Just subtle things. She'd sit in the kitchen at odd hours. 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Just sitting there. No phone, no music, just staring at the wall. The first time I saw it, I laughed. "Can't sleep?" I asked. She didn't look at me right away. She took a few seconds. Then she turned her head slowly, smiled, and said, "Listening." That was it. Just one word. I asked, "To what?" She didn't answer. Just smiled again, a little wider this time. I didn't push it. About 3 days later, I noticed something else. She wasn't blinking. You don't really pay attention to how often someone blinks. We were sitting across from each other at dinner. She was eating normally, but her eyes, they stayed open too long. Unnaturally long. I kept eye contact longer than usual. 10 seconds. 15. 20. My eyes started to water before hers did, and when she finally blinked, it wasn't natural. It was slow. Too slow. Like she was remembering how that night was the first time I felt something close to fear. But I still explained it away. Dry eyes, I told myself. Then came the laughing. It was around 2 in the morning. I woke up suddenly. That half-awake state where something feels off, and then I heard it. A laugh. Low. Soft. But it wasn't her laugh. This was controlled, like a joke no one else heard. I stood outside her door and listened. The laughing stopped instantly. Not faded. Stopped. I knocked. No answer. I opened the door slowly. She was in bed. On her side, eyes closed. Breathing steady. Asleep. 3 nights later, I woke up again. This time, I woke up to a feeling. That instinct you get when someone is watching you. I opened my eyes, and she was there, standing in my doorway, just standing. Her arms were at her sides, her head slightly tilted. I said her name. My voice sounded smaller than it should have. She smiled. I couldn't see her teeth, but I could feel it. There was something wrong with the shape of her face. She tilted her head a little more and said, "It already knows your name." My stomach dropped. "What?" But she didn't repeat it. She just turned slowly and walked back down the hallway. The next morning, I called our mother. I told her everything. She listened quietly and then said, "You're overreacting. She probably just needs space." I want to be clear. She said those exact words. Give her space. So, primera did. On the 3rd day, I came home from work. The apartment felt different the second I walked in. Colder. Just wrong. Then I noticed the mirrors. Every single one was covered, all covered with dark cloth. Carefully. Deliberately. I found my sister in the kitchen. Cooking. Humming. Completely normal. I asked her, "What's with the mirrors?" She turned around. For a moment, she looked genuinely confused. "What mirrors?" she asked. I felt irritation rise. That night, I called a friend. He came over, walked through the apartment. At one point, he paused in the hallway. "Do you feel that?" he asked. "It's cold." "Not everywhere," he said. "Just air." He left around 11. Said everything was fine. At 11:47, I got a text. "Is someone else in there with you?" he called. When I was driving away, he said, I looked in my rearview mirror. I saw someone standing at your window. They weren't standing right. The head was tilted too far, he said, and the arms, they were too low. I walked toward her door. Slowly, placed my ear against the wood. I heard breathing. Long. Slow. too slow. 2 days later, she left. Said she was going back to our parents' house. At the door, she hugged me. Just before she pulled away, she whispered in my ear. It didn't leave with me. She walked down the stairs. I still live here. I've never heard the laughing again. But sometimes, late at night, I hear breathing. Long, slow, too slow. And now, it comes from inside my room. My name doesn't matter. What happened is, I was 9 years old. The first time I saw him, he stood at the foot of my bed. Every night. For almost 3 years. And nobody believed me, until it was too late. The first time, I thought I was dreaming. A man, completely still, standing at the foot of your bed in the dark, just watching. I couldn't see his face clearly. Not fully, but I could make out enough. A shape. Broad shoulders. Long arms hanging at his sides. I screamed that first night. Loud. Panicked. Desperate. My parents came running. They turned on the light. He was gone. They checked everything. Under the bed. Inside the closet. Behind the door. There's nothing here, they said. It was just a bad dream. I didn't sleep at all that night. The next night, he was back. Same place. Same oppositions. Standing at the foot of my bed. I didn't scream this time. Maybe some part of me already understood that screaming hadn't helped. So I stayed still. I watched him. He didn't move. Didn't breathe. Didn't shift his weight. He just stood there. Every night, I'd wake up, and he'd be there. I started drawing him. I needed to put the fear somewhere. A tall, dark shape. Arms hanging at his sides, longer than they should be. My mother found the drawings. Her face changed. That's when she took me to a therapist who told me I had an overactive imagination. She gave me breathing exercises. Inhale slowly, exhale slowly. He still showed up every night. Nothing changed. Except me. In the 7th month, something changed. I woke up one night, and he had moved. Just one step forward. Closer. I started dreading sleep. I tried sleeping with the lights on. It didn't help. He still appeared. Clearer now. And those arms, they were wrong. I'd scratched my wrist to know if I was dreaming. I felt it. Sharp. Real. That meant I was awake. And if I was awake, was real. Then came the month where everything changed. I woke up, and he was right next to me. Standing beside the bed. I physically couldn't move. I saw his face. Hollows where eyes should be, and a mouth that wasn't fully closed, like it was almost about to say something. It felt like pressure pressing into my head. Sentense, being forced into my mind. I've been waiting for you to be ready. After that night, he didn't come back. Days passed, then weeks. I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Relief. 3 weeks and 2 days. That's how long it lasted. I woke up again, and he was in the corner of the ceiling, watching. And then, slowly, he smiled. It took too long. It stretched in the wrong direction. That was the last night I ever slept in that room. I slept on the couch for 4 months until we moved. The new house felt different. Cleaner. Lighter. I was 13 and felt safe. Until one night, my little brother, he had just turned 7, ran up to me. He whispered, "There's a man who stands in my room at night." I asked, "What does he look like?" He didn't hesitate. "Big," he said. "Dark. His arms are too long." I knew the truth. He hadn't been waiting for me to be ready. He had been waiting for someone else. I'm a sound engineer. I've worked with audio professionally for 11 years. I clean recordings. I isolate frequencies. I remove noise people don't even know is there. I understand how sound behaves, how it travels, how it distorts, how it can trick you. There is always an explanation. Always. What I'm about to tell you, I cannot explain. And I've tried. I've tried everything. It started with a file. A colleague of mine, documentary filmmaker, sent it over. Late one night, no context, beyond a short message. Can you clean this up? There's something in the background I can't remove. That wasn't unusual. I get files like that all the time. Bad recordings. Electrical hum, wind interference. People shifting in chairs. Phones buzzing. The usual. I opened the file in my editing software. Hit play. It was an interview. A woman older, maybe in her 60s, speaking calmly about her home. Rural area. Isolated. The kind of place where sound travels strangely at night. She talked about things going missing. Objects not where they should be. Her husband waking up in the middle of the night, screaming about something standing in the room. Standard stuff. I don't believe in hauntings, but I've worked on enough documentaries to know the pattern. But underneath her voice, there was something else. A low sound. So low it almost blended into the noise floor. That's what he wanted me to clean. So I did what I always do. I put on my headphones. Isolated the frequency. Boosted it. At first, it sounded like distortion. A rumble. Maybe environmental noise, distant machinery. Wind through something hollow. Then I boosted it further. And I heard it. A voice. Not hers, not the interviewers, not anyone else present in the room. A third voice. Deep. Extremely low, almost below what you'd normally perceive as speech. But it was there, whispering, constantly. I paused the track, sat back, took off my headphones. Then I put them back on, played it again. Still there. I zoomed in on the waveform. The pattern was consistent, unbroken, no gaps. I slowed the audio down, stretched it, cleaned out the higher frequencies, focused only on that voice. And that's when I understood something that made my hands stop moving. It wasn't random. It wasn't noise. It was language, words, a sentence being repeated over and over and over. Exactly the same every time. Same rhythm, same spacing. For the entire 22 minutes of the recording, no pauses, no breaths, no variation, just repetition. I don't write those words down. I've never written them down. I won't start now, but I understood them perfectly. I sat there for a long time, listening, replaying sections, zooming in, verifying. Every tool I had told me the same thing. That voice was real. It existed in the recording, and it did not belong to anyone in the room. I clipped a segment, sent it back to my colleague. I told him exactly what I found. There was a long pause. Then he replied, "Play it for yourself. The whole thing. Don't stop it." That message bothered me more than the audio, but I did it. I restarted the file, pressed play, and I listened. All 22 minutes. The woman spoke, calm, measured, and underneath her voice, that other voice continued, unchanged, relentless. When the recording ended, I didn't move. I just sat there in my studio, thinking, trying to form a logical explanation. Hidden speaker. No. Frequency bleed. Doesn't work like that. Audio artifact. Not structured like language. Nothing. Feet. Eventually, I leaned back in my chair, stared at the ceiling. That's when I noticed something. My recording software was running, not playing. Recording. I had on Tuna Diet on. I'm very careful with my setup. I don't accidentally record, but there it was. A fresh track. Still capturing. I froze. Then I reached forward slowly and stopped the recording. I looked at the file. 40 minutes long. That didn't make sense. The playback had ended. I'd only been sitting there a few minutes afterward. 5 minutes at most. So where did the rest come from? I opened the file. Pressed play. The first few minutes were normal. Ambient room noise. My studio. Air conditioning. A faint hum from equipment. Then, around the 4-minute mark, I heard something else. Breathing. Mine. Slow. Steady. Calm. I must have been sitting still. Listening. Thinking. Then at 4 minutes and 30 seconds, another breathing started. I paused the track. Rewound. Played it again. There was no mistake. 2 distinct breathing patterns. Mine. And something else. The second one was deeper, slower, and it wasn't in sync with mine. It was separate, independent, as if something else was in the room with me. Breathing. I listened carefully, waiting for some reaction from myself. Some shift in breathing, a movement, a chair creak. Anything. Nothing. On the recording, I didn't react at all. My breathing stayed steady, like I didn't hear it, like I didn't notice. That part terrified me more than anything, because I was there, and I remember nothing. The timeline continued, minute after minute. 2 breathing patterns. 1 room. No awareness. Then at the 11-minute mark, something happened. My voice came through the recording. Clear. Sharp. Unmistakable. I froze, because I don't remember speaking. Not a single word. Not a sound. But on that recording, I said something. 1 word. Yes. Just that. No hesitation. No confusion. Like I was answering a question. A question I don't remember hearing. I replayed that part over and over. Listened to the tone, the timing. It wasn't tired. It wasn't distracted. It was deliberate. Certain. After that, the second breathing stopped. Completely. Gone. Mine continued. Normal. Unchanged. The remaining 29 minutes were silence. I didn't wait. I called my colleague immediately. He picked up on the second ring. I didn't explain. I just played him the recording. From the beginning, he listened, didn't interrupt, didn't react. When it ended, there was silence. Almost a full minute. Then he said, "I have another file." My chest tightened. "Different family," he continued. "Different location. Same voice." I didn't say anything. "I've been finding it for 2 years," he said. 2 years. In different recordings, he went on. Interviews, ambient captures, background audio. Always the same voice. Always repeating something. I felt cold. "What does it say?" I asked. He didn't answer directly. "I don't know what it's asking," he said. Then, after a pause, "But whatever it is, I think things keep saying yes." We didn't speak after that. The call ended. I sat there, in my studio, looking at the screen, looking at that file, my file, 40 minutes long, containing something I don't remember happening. Containing my voice, answering something that wasn't there. Or at least, something I didn't hear. I don't use that studio anymore. I packed everything up, moved my equipment, started working somewhere else. The file is still on my hard drive. I haven't deleted it. I don't know why. Maybe because deleting it wouldn't change anything. Maybe because part of me thinks I might need it one day. Or maybe I'm afraid of what happens if I try. I haven't played it again either. Not once. because I don't want to hear that voice again. I don't want to hear what it's saying. And more than that, I don't want to hear myself. Not like that. Not answering something I was never supposed to hear. Because now, when I sit in silence, sometimes I catch myself listening. Not for sound, but for absence, for something just beneath it. Something too low, too constant. Something waiting to ask again. My father was not a frightened man. He was an engineer. Quiet, precise, logical. He trusted facts, measurements, systems. If something couldn't be tested, calculated, or explained, he didn't believe in it. So when he started talking about the figure in the hallway, I didn't know what to do. It began after he got sick. Kidney failure. Late 60s. He moved in with us so we could take care of him. It was a normal decision. A good one. The first 2 weeks were fine. Then he stopped sleeping. Not insomnia. Not exactly. Want to sleep. There was something in his voice when he said it. Something careful. Like he was choosing each word very precisely. I asked him why. He said, because of what comes when I close my eyes. I tried to keep it light. What comes? I asked. He shook his head. It isn't worth explaining. Then he got up and went to his room. I stood in the hallway for a while after that, not sure what to do with what he just said. A few nights later, he got up around 2 a.m. to get some water. On the way back, I passed his room. The light was on. I could see it under the door. I knocked. Come in, he said. He was sitting upright in bed. Fully dressed, shoes on. Watching the door, I asked him if everything was okay. He looked at me for a long moment, like he was deciding something. Then he said, "There is something in this house that walks at night." I didn't respond. "I hear it," he continued. "It goes from room to room." His voice stayed calm, measured. "I've been listening to the pattern," he said. "It visits every room." Meh, but it always comes back to mine. I sat down on the edge of his bed. I told him it was probably just sounds. Old house. Pipes. Animals outside. He looked at me. "I am an engineer," he said. "I know the sound of pipes. I know animal sounds. I know house sounds. This is none of those things." I stayed with him for about an hour. We talked about other things. Normal things. Eventually, he seemed tired. I went back to bed, but I didn't sleep. The next morning, I noticed something. The photographs in the hallway family pictures we'd had for years, 2 of them were turned face, not fallen. Placed carefully. I turned them back over. The next morning, they were face down again. I didn't tell my father. I didn't want to make things worse. But after that, I started noticing things. Small things, the kind you dismiss on their own. A chair slightly out of place. A door not quite how you left it. And a smell. Sometimes in the hallway, not bad, but wrong. Like soil. And something burning. At the same time, my father started asking me questions. Strange questions, precise questions. Like he was collecting data. He asked if I ever felt like something was watching me from a specific direction. He asked if I'd ever heard my name. In an empty room, he asked if I ever felt like something was standing just outside my vision. Not general fear. Specific. Directed. Measured. I asked him what he thought. What he'd concluded. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "I think it has been with me for a very long time. I felt something shift in my chest. I think I just stopped noticing it." He continued, "Until I got sick." He looked down at his hands. "I think my illness made me." He hesitated. More accessible. That was the word he used. Accessible. 3 weeks before he died. Something happened I still can't explain. I came home from the grocery store, and I found him standing in the living room, right in the center. Not facing the TV. Not facing the window. Facing the wall. Completely still. I said his name. He didn't respond right away. Then slowly, he turned. His face was calm, but his eyes, something was wrong. I don't know how to describe it properly. They weren't his. Just for a moment, Tenny passed, and he was him again. Tired, sick, familiar. He looked at me and said, "I think I was somewhere else for a moment." Then, quietly, "I'm sorry." He died 22 days later. The doctors said it was expected. Normal progression. Nothing unusual. Afterward, I cleaned out his room. Clothes. Books. Medication. In his bedside drawer, I found a notepad, his handwriting, pages filled with dates and times. And next to each one, short notes, observations, like logs, like he'd been studying something, documenting it, tracking it. I read through them slowly. Mentions of sounds, footsteps, timing, patterns. And then I reached the last entry. "2 days before he died," it said, "visited again. Longer this time." My hands felt cold. It showed me something. I stopped breathing. I don't know how to write what I saw. There was a pause in the page. Then one final line. Different pen. The handwriting. Shakir. Like it had been written later. It said, "Don't look for it. Then it already knows your name." I tore that page out. I don't know why. I just did. I folded it carefully, put it in my wallet. I still carry it. Every day. I've thought about throwing it away. Banning it, forgetting it. But I haven't. Because throwing it away would feel like pretending it didn't happen. And it did happen. Ik nooit dit. Because sometimes late at night, when the house is quiet, I hear something in the hallway, not loud, not clear, but moving from room to room. And no matter where it starts, it always comes back to mine. I'm a nurse. I've worked in pediatric care for 8 years. I've seen things most people don't want to imagine. Illness does strange things to children. It changes behavior, speech, perception. I believe in medicine. I believe in science. I believe in rational explanations. I have one experience that does not fit into any of those categories. Her name was Alina. She was 7. She came in after a minor accident. Nothing serious, just observation. 2 nights, maybe 3. She stayed 11 days. The first 2 days were completely normal. She was quiet, polite. She drew pictures in her bed, watched cartoons, asked the nurses when she could go home. Nothing unusual. Nothing concerning. On the third day, she stopped speaking. Not physically. There was nothing wrong with her throat, no injury, no neurological issue we could find. She simply refused to speak. She would look at you when you talked to her. She understood everything, but she would not respond. Her parents were worried. On the fourth day, I went in to do her evening check. Routine. Vitals. Basic questions. I asked her how she was feeling. I wasn't expecting an answer, but she gave me one. She said something quietly. At first, I didn't understand it. It didn't sound like English or any language I recognized. I asked her to repeat it. She did. Same sounds, same rhythm. My colleague was standing beside me. She grabbed my arm. Tight, she whispered. She's speaking backwards. I frowned. What do you mean? She said. Listen carefully. The pattern. It's reversed. I listened again. Focused and slowly, I started to hear it. The cadence. The unnatural pauses. It sounded like speech. Played in reverse. My colleague took out her phone. She recorded Alina. We stepped into the hallway. She reversed the audio. We listen. Alina's voice. Clear. Calm. For all, said. Tell them not to look at the window at night. We didn't speak. We just stood there, listening to the silence. After I went back into the room, sat down beside her bed. I chose my words carefully. I asked her why we shouldn't look at the window. She looked at me. Her face was completely blank. Then she spoke again. Backwards. My colleague reversed it. This time, Alina said, because it looks back. I felt something cold settle in my chest. We told the doctors. We played the recordings. They listened it. No one interrupted. After a moment, they did what they were supposed to do. They ordered a psychiatric evaluation. That's the correct response. The psychiatrist came the next morning. He spent an hour with her. When he came out, he looked unsettled. Not panicked. Just off. He said she had answered all his questions. Normally. Clearly. Forward. No backward speech. No unusual behavior. I went back into her room after he left. She was sitting up in her bed looking at me, se smilev, and then, for the first time in days, she spoke normally. Forward. Clear, she said. It left this morning. I didn't respond. She tilted her head slightly. Do you want to know where it went? I didn't answer. I couldn't. Something in me didn't want to hear it. She looked past me, toward the door, and she said, It's in the hallway. I did not turn around. I want to be clear about that. I did not turn around. I've thought about that moment many times. Alina was discharged 3 days later. Her parents were relieved. She was normal again. Bright. Clear. Like nothing had ever happened. Whatever it was gone. Or at least, it wasn't with her anymore. I finished my shift. 3 more hours. Then I went home. My daughter was 6 at the time. I checked on her. She was asleep. Peaceful. I stood in her doorway for a while, watching her breathe. Then I went to bed around Trace. I heard her voice soften, murmuring. I got up immediately, went to her room. She was still asleep. Eyes closed, breathing steady, but she was speaking. Very quietly. Barely above a whisper, I stood at the door, listening. And slowly, I realized what I was hearing. The pattern, the rhythm, the same unnatural cadence. I felt my hands go cold. I took out my phone, recorded her. Then I went back to my room, closed the door, sat on the edge of my bed. I reversed the recording, pressed play. I listened once, only once. Then I sat there, not moving. I never played it again. I deleted it the next morning. I don't know if that helped. I don't know if deleting it matters. Because some things, once you hear them, you don't forget. You don't process them. You just carry them quietly, and sometimes late at night. When the house is silent, I think about what she said. Not Alina. My daughter.
I wonder
If whatever left that hospital room ever really stopped looking, or if it's still out there, waiting for someone else to listen backwards.